Facts with Dio.
Hello, good afternoon to you. Welcome to Hard Factor 90.3 Nigeria Info and Her Input Hackett. I'm Dio. 11 minutes come past 3 p.m. It's a fine Monday. Kind of misty, sort of. I'm not sure how to describe today's weather, really. It was, at least earlier today, looked like and felt like the air was filled with a lot of particles and stuff. Probably the suit, I suppose. It's a terrible situation, really. Can't wait for the rains to come. Not that it takes the suit away or anything, but I mean, the air is somewhat clearer when the rains start to pour. Anyways, away from that, I hope you had a fine weekend. I did. I had a fantastic weekend, by the way, for a number of reasons. I got to spend some good time with some friends. That was great. And also, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Yes, indeed. But before I come to my weekend, I hope yours was great, and I hope that the start to this working week has been a fascinating one as well, and that things are looking up. And there's a sign that there are signs that this week is going to be a good week. I very, very, very much hope so. All right, so let's see. A few matters up for discussion on the show today, most definitely so. Let's see. So I've got side comments coming up shortly, random stories, random thoughts which will not be discussed now. And then I've got a rant afterwards, something in my mind. I'm expressing some thought in it, and I'd like to get your take on my take all the way till 4 p.m. Now, 4, we've got business news, 4 p.m. After that, let's see. Reps to make BSc, HID, minimum qualifications for offices of president, governors. That story is... in the, I think it's in the Vanguard newspaper, the Vanguard. Well, here's a bit of the story. Let's see. For purposes of proper governance, the House of Reps is on the verge of enacting a law that would make first degrees in the form of Bachelors of Science, Art, BSc, BA, or higher national diploma, HND, minimum qualifications for election into the offices of Nigeria's president and governors. Now, the House is also seeking some of the law. But anyways, what do you make of this? Will this necessarily give us better leadership? And do you need to have a degree? Do you need to have a university degree to be a good president or to be a good governor, for that matter? I'd like to get your take on that in the 4 o'clock hour. I'll take us to 5, news update at 5 p.m. And, it seems we are witnessing a return of the subsidy. Subsidy is back, it appears. Story here in the Punch newspaper. Petrol subsidy to go up 102.96 billion naira in March. That story is in the Punch newspaper. If you caught my conversation with Ken Henshaw of With the People, I think it was on Friday. I think it was Friday last week, Thursday or Friday. And it was an interesting conversation with Ken on the situation with the purported increase in pump price of petrol, which of course the president did not authorize, according to the Minister of State, Mr. Silva, and all the confusion with the PPPRA putting up some template on his website and then taking the template off, and quite confusing, really. Anyways, so I mean, it's only logical if the government is saying that they're deregulating the market when when price of crude rises in the international market. Quite naturally, the pump price of petrol should go up as well. So if the price remains the same, at least for now, it does, or at least it appears to, there's only one logic to it. Government is going to have to subsidize. So, well, here's the story once again. Petrol subsidy to go up 102.96 billion naira in March. Here's the story. The NNPC may spend 102.96 billion naira on petrol subsidy this month, going by the recent pricing template for the commodity. A federal government agency, that's the Petroleum Products Pricing Regulatory Agency, PPPRA, on Thursday published the expected new lower and upper prices for petrol at retail outlets in March 2021, putting the rates at between 209 naira 61 kobo a litre and 212 naira 61 kobo a litre. It also put the ex-depot price of petrol for the month at 206 naira 42 kobo per litre and pegged the expected landing cost at 189 naira 61 kobo per litre. By the way, PPPRA is the regulator of the downstream oil sector. Now, a pull-down explanation at the earlier published guiding price did not translate into a hike in pump price, despite reflecting market realities. So we'll get to the Skinners would like for us to consider and thievery and you name it. And of course, this administration promised that subsidy was going to be a thing of the past, but voila, alas, it is with us here again. What do you make of this? Do we bring back the subsidy? Do we take out the subsidy? Which is it going to be? I'd like to get your take on that in the 5 o'clock hour after the news update. Headlines 5:30, major news at 6 p.m. and open season afterwards. If you miss out on any matter discussed, I'll take his thoughts during that period. At about 7, the show comes to an end. The sports gang will be in for extra time by 7 o'clock, bringing you all the action from the world of sports. Absolutely so. I think we got a game tonight. Do we have a game tonight? Yes, I think we have a game tonight. I think Liverpool's playing today, if I got that right. Let's see. What time is that? Just a moment. Come on, load quickly. Alright, anyways, Liverpool's got a game tonight. I've forgotten who they're playing today, but I think Liverpool do have a game tonight. And can't be certain the sport gang. Oh, kickoff is 9 p.m, so I'm not sure the sports gang will be in for that one. But anyways, catch them by 7, I suppose, for all the analysis and possibly predictions as far as that game is concerned. That's the show today. Any changes you will find out. Simply stay tuned. So let's keep the ball rolling now with today's side comment. And something happened. Something happened over the weekend. Something fantastic. Something absolutely incredible. Something brilliant. It was a Premier League game over the weekend at the Emirates Stadium, home of Arsenal Football Club. It was the North London Derby. Arsenal taking on Tottenham Hotspurs. And in the 33rd minute, it was Eric Lamela who scored first for Tottenham, making it Arsenal 0, Tottenham 1. And yes, there were folks who thought it was over for Arsenal, who thought, yes, that's where it's going to end. Worst case scenario, Arsenal get to draw, or Tottenham even scores more goals, embarrassing the Gunners at the Emirates. But it was not to be. It was not to be, I dare say, because in the 44th minute, it was a Martin Odegaard special. Assisted by Kieran Tierney. It was a pile driver. Took a slight deflection. Who cares? In the back of the net, Arsenal 1, Tottenham 1. And the game continued. Progress. Second half came, and it was Curti and Alexander Lacazette penalty. Boom. Arsenal 2. Tottenham Hotspurs 1. And Eric Lamela, believing that he was now a star because he scored a goal, couldn't handle himself, bagging 2 yellow cards in the game, ending him a red, and he was rightly sent off because we don't allow hoodlums to play the game. No, it's a fine sport, and we like decency on the pitch. And if you're going to behave like a hoodlum, we're going to give you a red card, and that's exactly what happened to Lamela in that game. Arsenal 2, Tottenham 1. That's how the game ended. Well-deserved victory, by the way, for the Arsenal side. Argue with yourself all you want, but it was Arsenal deserved to win that game because we played fantastic football throughout that game. First half, second half, it was Arsenal all the way. And guess what? I'm receiving, right from then, I was bombarded with tweets. Check out my handle. You might see some of them at D_Shark, spelled DEE_SHARK. People were demanding. Right from Saturday, they've been bombarding me, demanding and asking for the Arsenal moment. Folks from far, home and abroad, far and near, everyone has been clamoring. I mean, there could have been a protest today. If not, that intelligence report probably stopped it. Allegedly, there could have been a protest of people demanding an Arsenal moment today. I already got messages here via WhatsApp. Arsenal moment, we pray because London is red and will always be precious. That's Precious from NYC Camp Katsina. This is all the way from Katsina via WhatsApp right now. The people are asking, please, we want Arsenal moment. Pascal from Chuba said that. Dio, any Arsenal moment. That's from Chima. Dio, London is red. Arsenal on fire. Please, we need Arsenal moment. It's very necessary and important. That's BF from Port Harcourt. We are demanding for Arsenal moment. I see the Arsenal moment is imminent today. You're a very smart man. You must have, for you to have deciphered that. Good game from Arsenal. Solid second half performance. I rep Real Madrid. That's from Deji. All right. And the word was an absolute peace. That's from Pastors. The people are asking for it. The people are demanding an Arsenal moment. And when the people demand an Arsenal moment, you got to give the people what the people want. There's nothing I can do. This is not about me. This is not about me. This has nothing to do with me. This is about the people. And when the people say they want an Arsenal moment, you have to give the people what the people want. All right, so enjoy this, especially the Arsenal fans. And I'll be right back in a bit. Yes, indeed. A commenter via WhatsApp from IK goes down. If you did not give us Arsenal moment, we will block all the airports in Nigeria and the major highways. You see, the people want it, the people get it. All right, so I'm sure everybody enjoyed that, including Chelsea and Man U fans, Liverpool fans inclusive. I'm sure everybody loves the Arsenal moment. All right, so that's done. Let's move on to some other side comments now. You know, random stories. Random thoughts. Yeah, of course, some haters are joining in and sending their own messages also. Can't help themselves. You know, when you're successful, people are always going to hate. It's natural. Expected. Congratulations also, very much, very much necessary to everyone, to Nigerians, to Africans, but especially to Burna Boy and Wizkid for their Grammy victories. Kudos to them, thumbs up. I'm quite delighted. It's a good thing to succeed in whatever it is you do, and there is no stage higher than that for musicians, for people who ply their trade. Congratulations to them, and it's a sign, I believe, to every other person out there that you can do it. You can succeed on the home scene, you can succeed on the international stage. Nigerians are brilliant. Nigerians are creative. Nigerians, we are an incredible people. We've got incredible potentials. We can make stuff happen. Really, we've got incredible capacity as well. We just need to put our hearts to it, put our minds to it, and we can accomplish just about anything that we do put our minds to. Indeed, I strongly believe that. And the victories and successes of Wizkid, Burna Boy, Tiwa Savage, and a host of others proves this beyond any doubt. Congratulations to them once again, and to every one of us as well. So, to other stories that caught my attention. Now, this was something from last week. Actually, this was from last week. It was on the 6 p.m. news last week, but it caught my attention, and I made a mental note to bring it up today. So I'm going to do that right now. All right. This concerned the Rivers State governor. He made certain comments which I'd like to make a few comments on. Governor Wike says it is unfortunate that organized labor has abandoned their role and now pursues personal interests. Governor Wike said this during the commissioning of the TUC Secretariat in Port Harcourt today. That was last week, of course. The governor said he is disappointed that Labour cannot speak up about increasing petrol price and electricity tariff. Let's hear what the governor had to say about that situation. I think it's, here we are, 12:21. Okay, here it is.
Since the inception of this government, Labour just died. Look at what is happening. Increase of fuel, insecurity, increase of tariff in electricity. Well, for talking about minimum wage to state, that cannot help us. We leave the substance and change the shadow. They call in the meeting in the night, the foreign body of call. Why do you even say you want to go outside? Nigerians cannot get anything substantive from you.
Your Excellency, sir, if I may. Minimum wage is very important, by the way. It is important as well, especially once again as unions are set up. The primary function is to clamor for and negotiate for the interest of their members. So minimum wage does affect their members primarily. So they definitely have to talk about that. And Your Excellency, you also know all about holding meeting with Labour and Labour changed their minds. I think I remember the last time Labour in Rivers State was going to embark on a protest and a strike. Yeah. Labour leaders at the national level came down to Rivers State. The protest was, and the strike was to kick off the next day. We heard that there was a meeting with Your Excellenciness, and then all of a sudden Labour announced to all of us the next day that you see, the protest is off and the strike is off all of a sudden after meeting you. So Your Excellency, I'm just curious to find out what exactly happened during that meeting also, because sometimes when they go for these meetings, we don't understand what goes on there, and they come out of those meetings whether with the federal government or with excellencies across the various states, and the Labour starts to sing a different tune. So maybe Your Excellency would do well to explain to us what goes on during those meetings, since you have first-hand experience with Labour going into a meeting and coming out singing a different tune. Let's see. Okay. Governor Wike said it is impossible for all states to pay the same national minimum wage. Here's what he said.
Let us face reality. If we are operating through federalism, you cannot say the man who is in Sokoto should earn the same thing with the man who is in Lagos. How can federal government fix salary for me? He did not employ you. I employed you. I sit down with you. We negotiate. Then you say federal government should fix what everybody should. I agree. But it's okay. Nobody should earn less than 40.
Thank you very much for agreeing, Your Excellency, because that exactly is the point. Thank you so much for agreeing with that. But let's listen more.
For example, but you cannot also say that because you have put that and there I sit down with you, we negotiate, then you say federal government should fix what everybody should. I agree, but it's okay. Nobody should earn less than 14,000 now, for example. But you cannot also say that because you have put that and therefore people in Kogi will now say, no, Lagos is paying 30,000 naira. Kogi must pay 30,000. You're not being fair to the system.
No, it's very fair, Your Excellency, because what this is a national minimum wage. That's what it is. Like you rightly said, you gave an example, Your Excellency. You said, for example, nobody should earn below 14,000 naira. I don't know why 14,000 naira came to mind, Your Excellency, but let's assume it was an example. And I hope it's not an example that anybody is toying with, by the way. So that is what a new national minimum wage is. It's the minimum. For example, like the 14,000 naira you mentioned, even though I think, for example, 30,000 naira is a better example, Your Excellency. So that's what it is. I know Your Excellency feels how he feels about this. Your Excellency can decide to raise it to 50,000 naira. I'm sure workers in Rivers State will not complain, you know. But I think that 30,000 naira as a minimum is not ridiculous. It's not outrageous that an adult, a full-grown human being in this country, Nigeria, considering the cost of things, the price, every accommodation, feeding, transportation, I don't think it's outlandish that a Nigerian earns at least 30,000 naira. If Rivers State, because there's so much money here, we're rolling in some bucks over here. Yeah, we got some dough over here. If Your Excellenciness decides to increase, the minimum wage in Rivers State to 70,000 naira, fantastic, brilliant. And then in Kogi State, they might pay just 30,000 naira. If Lagos wants to pay 30,000, that's fine. But I think that a minimum of 30,000 naira is even ridiculous, really. I mean, what does 30,000 naira accomplish for a lot of Nigerians these days? We're the poverty capital of the world, for crying out loud. So it's a minimum, Your Excellency. And by the way, feel free to increase it to 50,000 naira in River State. We will not mind, obviously. Yeah, we won't mind at all. And the state governor also wants Labour leaders to detach themselves from politics and only fight for the welfare of workers in the state.
I saw the chairman of the Labour Congress here, the politician, what's her name? Beatrice. She's in the other party facing us. And I told her one year, I said, look, don't allow my opponents to use you. If you have a problem, come to government. We'll sit there and discuss. But when you go to radio, if you like shout 20 times, I will not do it. The mere fact you have gone to radio first, that has closed discussion. Because let me tell you, if you go on strike for 6 months, my strategy is very clear. I pay 6 point something to 7 billion naira a month. If you didn't come to work for 6 months, I agree. 6 times 6 is how much? 36 billion. I will do another 5 flyovers.
Okay, all right. Now, I'd like to play that back and address some of the His Excellency's comments.
I saw the chairman of the Labour Congress here, the politician, what's her name? Beatrice. She's in the other party facing us. And I told her one year, I said, look, don't allow my opponents to use you. If you have a problem, come to government.
Let me start by saying this. Your Excellency, just because a person is not on the same page with you does not mean that they are against you. And I think we have a fundamental problem in Nigeria and in Rivers State as well. Just because a person holds or shares a different view or a different perspective from yours does not mean the person is against you or is aligned with your enemies, real or perceived. No. And Labour, especially Labour leaders, have a right to disagree with government on policies and advocate for what they believe is in the interest of their members. I mean, as a matter of fact, if Labour is consistently chummy with government, then something is not right. Because their job, once again, is to advocate and clamour for the welfare of their members. And many times that is not in consonance with government's policies or plans. And that's totally perfectly normal.
We'll sit there and discuss. But when you go to radio, if you like shout 20 times, I will not do it. No,
Your Excellency, sir, you have to do it. Your Excellency, I don't mean to offend you, but you have to do it, actually. Because it's not dependent on what you feel like. No, that's not how it works, Your Excellency. And Labour or any other person for that matter has a right to express themselves. They have a right to go to media houses, broadcast or print or radio or television to talk about the issues that affect their members. They have a right to do that. And doing that, whether it angers or annoys Your Excellency or not, is quite frankly neither here nor there. Because once again, Your Excellency, you have a responsibility to work for the people, and you can't decide to not work for them because you don't like somebody granting a radio interview. No, you might be able to order your cabinet members to not go for radio interviews. That's fine. But you cannot order because you appointed them, even though I don't think that's right anyway, because you also have a responsibility to be accountable to people, to talk to them about your policies and plans. But you didn't appoint Labour. So if Labour, any member of Labour decides to grant an interview or talk about issues that affect their members, they have a right to do that. And even if Your Excellency doesn't like it, tough luck, really. But they have a right to do that. And you have a responsibility to act in the interest of the people that you govern, not whether you like what they are doing or not.
The mere fact you have gone to radio first, that has closed discussion.
No, it can't close discussion, Your Excellency. Once again, it cannot. It must not close discussion. Because government has a responsibility to continually, consistently engage the people that are governed, regardless of whether or not they go to radio.
But let me tell you, if you go on strike for 6 months, my strategy is very clear. I pay 6 point something to 7 billion naira a month. If you didn't come to work for 6 months, I agree. 6 times 6 is how much? 36 billion. I will do another 5 flyovers.
Your Excellency, you can do 20 flyovers if you want, but you will still pay. You will still pay the salaries, Your Excellency. If Labour, for whatever reason, decide that they need to go on a strike as a strategy or a tool to compelling government to act in the interest of their members, they were within their rights to do so if they have followed laid down procedures, of course. And if the strike lasts for 6 months, Your Excellency might decide to build 21 flyovers. That's fine. But you will still pay, Your Excellency. You will still pay. Don't be offended, Your Excellency. Don't be offended. But you will still pay the salaries, Your Excellency. You will still pay. You have to pay, Your Excellency. Because paying salaries is not dependent on whether Your Excellency is happy or not. No. It's a statutory responsibility of government. And you are heading that government in Rivers State right now to pay these salaries. So Your Excellency must pay. 21 flyovers or not, salaries must be paid. It's not optional. It's not dependent on how it's not dependent on body language, Your Excellency. I think that's all the time that I have for today's side comments. I have to move along. There were other issues that caught my attention, but I'm not sure I have the time to get to those right now. So I'm going to leave it on that note. But Your Excellency, once again, finally, I'm wrapping it up now. In my capacity as a self-appointed senior special advisor, I'm reminding you of critical matters. Your Excellency, irrespective of how many flyovers we're building, we have to pay teachers in demonstration schools in Rivers State. They've been owed salaries for about 5 years right here. They've got a court order ordering your government to pay these salaries. So please, let's pay the salaries, Your Excellency. Also, let's fix our schools. Let's fix education in Rivers State. The money for 5 flyovers can fix a lot, can do quite a lot in the education sector in Rivers State. We need to build the future of this state. The future of this state is not flyovers, because once again, flyovers can take us from GRA Junction to water lines, but education will take us to the future. Flyovers cannot take us there. Education will, and even flyovers, surprise, surprise, are not the best legacy. Education, however, is the best legacy. And that's it for today's side comments. I go on a break. When I return, today's round comes up. Please stay with us.
Information is a two-way thing. Nigeria Info, it's your turn. Let's talk.
Are you running late and can't make it down to our Rumorsi office to book your commercials? Don't worry, because you can take advantage of our marketing office inside Port Harcourt to book your commercials. It is located at Shop 9 Mediatrix of All Graces Plaza, opposite FIRS Stadium Road, Port Harcourt. You can also call our sales rep on 0817 001 8162. That's 0817 001 8162.
Information is a two-way thing. Nigeria Info, it's your turn. Let's talk.
And now, Hard Facts. Hard Facts with Dio.
Welcome back to this House Factor 91.3 Nigeria Info in Port Harcourt. I'm Dio. 20 minutes ago before 4 p.m. I'd like to rant for just a bit. I've got something in my mind. I'd like to express a few thoughts on it. You're welcome to express your thoughts in mind all the way till 4 p.m. What I'd like to rant on today is the predictability of Nigerian leaders. The predictability of Nigerian leaders. It often amazes me, when Nigerians pretend to be shocked by bad governance or by bad leadership or some irresponsible act by some leader, maybe an elected official or even an appointed person who's holding some office. It often amazes me because once again, Nigerian leaders don't do anything new. There's nothing new they do any longer. They're just recycling the same process. There's no new textbook. There isn't even a revised version for the manual that dictates the characters, the behaviors of most leaders in Nigeria. They only have one textbook. They have only one manual, and they always go to that manual. And that's why when a press statement is being released by government, you don't even have to read it many times. You know what they're going to say. You know what the response is going to be. It's a template. When people die, the government condemn, this and that. It's the template, and then they send high-powered delegation. And then you set up 7-man committee, and you set up a committee to review that committee. And then you present white paper. And then you set up another committee to review the white paper and turn it into a pink paper. And then another committee, we have to look at that pink paper also. You see, the template is the same. There's no creativity to it. It's the same. They do the same thing every single time. So how that Nigerians get surprised or amazed at the outcomes, for me, is quite amazing indeed. I'm not sure what the problem is. Is it amnesia? Because it seems that we forget so quickly. We're in a hurry to forget, it even seems. Because once again, they all work with the same manual. You can predict what the average Nigerian leader is going to do or say. You can predict it. And if betting companies, I think I said this last week, if betting companies had options for such bets, everybody's going to, I will be cashing out. You will be cashing out also every day, because you can predict to a 90% certainty, at least, if not 99%, at least 90% certainty, what government at whatever level, what their reaction is going to be to almost any matter. Now, sometime last week, I believe, this story broke, and I think it was discussed. I think I mentioned it on the show. As a matter of fact, I think I'm sure I did. It was in the Punch newspaper. This story: money meant for arms missing under Buratai, ex-service chiefs, and it was according to the NSA. The National Security Advisor to the President, Major General Babagana Monguno, retired, has said some funds meant for the purchase of arms to strengthen the country's anti-terror war got missing under the leadership of the ex-service chiefs. The NSA, in an interview with BBC Hausa on Friday, said, quote, "No one knows what happened to the money, but by God's grace, the President will investigate to find out whether the money was spent and where the arms went." The NSA also added that the new service chiefs have not seen any of the arms that the funds were supposed to be used to procure. He said this. There's no denying that he said this. Now, I remember that some of the responses I got last week was that I should wait. That very soon they're going to tell us that the NSA was quoted out of context. And I find that quite interesting, because very likely that was what was going to happen. And did it happen? Yes, it did happen. You know already that it happened. But here's the story. Just indulge me. From the Premium Times. NSA Monguno makes U-turn on allegation of missing arms money. Here's the story. The National Security Advisor, Babagana Monguno, has said he was quoted out of context on the allegations that he made against the immediate past service chiefs. He said this in a statement by his office on Friday. Mr. Monguno had, in an interview with BBC Hausa, revealed that funds running into billions of naira meant for the procurement of arms and ammunition under the past service chiefs were unaccounted for. His revelation came more than 1 month after President Buhari replaced the service chiefs led by Gabriel Olonishakin, the former chief of defense staff. Recanting his own remark, the NSA said he did not categorically state that the funds were missing under the former service chiefs. Is this shocking? No, because even last week you said to me that the NSA was going to say, or somebody in government was going to say, that the NSA was quoted out of context. We expected it to happen. Did it happen? Yes, it did happen. Spot on, exactly as predicted. I wish I was this good at predicting sporting outcomes, sporting event outcomes. I'd be a multi-billionaire by now. You know it's going to happen. We know it's going to happen. So why do we keep on doing the same thing and expecting a different result? We want good schools. We want affordable health care. We want good infrastructure. We want security. We don't want our kids to be kidnapped in schools. We don't want to be kidnapped ourselves. We want a safer environment. We want power. We want water. We want We want the good things of life that we read of and see on TV that people experience in other parts of the world. And yet we keep doing the same thing that leads us in the same exact opposite direction, and we're expecting things to improve. How is that going to happen? Because you already know what they're going to do. It's the same manual. They don't even get creative about it. It's the same thing. They all read the same textbook. As a matter of fact, I have a feeling that all the statements released by government, there is a template for it. Just change the name. There's a template for every statement, almost every statement released by any government at any level, or even government agencies for that matter. It's not shocking. You said to me that they're going to say he was quoted out of context, and alas, yes, it happened. What I can figure out is how we as a people continue along this path that's going to lead us to nowhere, and we're expecting a different result. Because once again, they are extremely predictable. You know what they're going to say. You know how they're going to react. You know they're going to say it was quoted out of context. It's very obvious. I hope we figure that one out, really. I really hope we do. And on that note, I end my round. Thanks for listening. Hope I didn't bore you. Any thoughts? Let's hear it. 0817-923-0002 or 0003. 0817-923-0007 or 0009. Please keep it brief, straight to the point. We're live on Twitter at NigeriaInfoPH. Also go to facebook.com/NigeriaInfoPH. And WhatsApp is on 0809 030 6416. Hello, how to welcome.
Hello.
Hi, go on.
Good afternoon.
Yeah.
I thank you for all the things you said. That comment, the rant. I want to talk about Your Excellency.
No, we can talk about that later. That was part of my side comments. We're not discussing that right now. Just the rant for this moment. Just the rant for now. Thank you, though. Just the rant for now, all right? By the way, once again, facebook.com/NigeriaInfoPH. Hello, hard to welcome.
Hello, Dayo. Good afternoon.
Hi, go ahead.
Man, we're still on the same point. Political illiteracy.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you.
My brother, we need to start educating ourselves in advance to make sure we stop being used to suffering. When we have rights to live a good life as human beings, just like people enjoy in the Western world, as well as other parts of Africa too. So what are we doing? We know this group is going to play us for you. They say majority always carries the vote. Our former president says one parable I read about him one article ago, that he is not scared of anything, of a group of idiots. So since our leaders think we're idiots, just gather like ants and tell them no. And put a civilized, humble, nice person that deserves that position with some high class of integrity to sit there and help us. Let's have the change. That's what I'm saying.
Change we do deserve.
Dominic,
great to hear from you, sir. Via Facebook, Friday Udom goes, U-turn or no U-turn, the truth has already been said. We all know that we're dealing with the deceitful federal government. Our code Bundu wisdom got and goes. Obviously, this time around, by House of Media or an Oga at the top, one of his very careless comments. It is the bane of FG to always blame and cast aspersions on former people in government, and most especially good luck-like administration. Canis ABR Yemi goes, I love this government. The corruption is well coordinated. Chinem Matthew, this government is more corrupt than others. Olufemi Shola goes, this is a script from above. Praying to make out. What do you expect? Praise Udeme goes, if they think we are fools, let them do. One day, the foolishness in us will supersede their wisdom. That's my point. All right, back to the phone lines. Hello, you're welcome.
Yeah, Mr. Dayo, good afternoon.
Hi, go ahead.
My brother, my wife. You have said it all, but I must commend you, Sha. You are trying.
Your mama really born you, and I pray that you just continue like this. They will learn from your word. Just keep it up. No weapon fashioned against you shall prosper. Carry on, my brother. You're a good man. Bye-bye.
Oh, thank you for your kind words. Hello, hard fact worker.
Hello, good afternoon.
All right, go ahead.
Well, I want to talk back on the rant you just rant about this afternoon.
Go ahead.
That's how it is in every area. Like Mohammed didn't deny that he didn't say that state speech has increased to 5 million naira, that he was misquoted. Is it nothing in this government that is not even Buhari himself can be misquoted? So that is how that's where we have find ourselves in this particular government. In anything they said this morning, in the next 2 hours, they have been misquoted. Somebody who put out in a live radio broadcast and said what he said, with your voice record, within an element of a sudden, he has been misquoted. No, Buhari government is whiter than snow. There can't be a meeting of army. There is only Dasuku. Dasuku was a jail for almost 4 years because of armed deal. Today, Tuku Brutai and the rest of them have been awarded with ambassador nominee. That is how we want to see ourselves in the next level. Thank you for ranting.
Welcome, sir. Via Facebook, Kingsley Gide goes down. The Bauchi State Governor said on national TV the herders have the right to carry AK-47. He later said he was quoted out of context. Most recently, the PPPRA hurriedly pulled down the poster by fuel increment and turned back to say they were misquoted. I'm not surprised at all because this is how we do it here. Creative Mind John goes down. You see, this is how we keep beating around. When they finish eating bole and fish, they forget what they said. It's quite tragic indeed, because once again, it's so predictable. It's so easy to predict. It's not even difficult at all. There's nothing difficult about it. Via Twitter, at GP Flow Twitter, the statements are made with intention that Monguno reserves the right to the real meaning and purpose of his earlier revelation. So I wish to suggest that Nigerians should give General Monguno the benefit of doubt as on God's power Igwe. All right. At Friday Udom 2 Twitter, okay, I think I wrote something about that. At Hopesy24 Twitter, that U-turn is a sure 3 odds. I'm telling you, Carlo. I mean, it's a sure bet, you know. Hello, 913.
Hello, good afternoon.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah. In fact, what is going on in this country is horrible. Hello?
Yeah, go on.
Yes. It's horrible. Somebody will make a statement, our so-called leaders tomorrow in the next, clearly that this set of people leading us in this country, both PDP, HTC, all of them, this group of people cannot lead Nigeria anywhere. With what they are putting on ground, the way they are doing, if you just think about it, you see whether they have any purposeful leadership, good leadership they are placing on us. There's no way. If this set of people continue in the leadership, in the next 20, 30 years, Nigeria will still be what we are. There's no better way to describe it. That is my submission. Thank you.
You're welcome. Via WhatsApp, predictable indeed. Not only predictable, but highly predictable. This is Nigeria for us. Precious Alex only said that you don't need a wise person to even figure them out. Even the market women and men can easily predict the outcome. If it was an online betting, I would be cashing out every day. There is no sophistication in their deception anymore. Frank Ine Jonathan said that. Exactly. There is no need to be creative. It's just, I mean, you can even blame the media. Like the media was blamed recently for the two fighting between two governors in Nigeria. The media was blamed for it. The media was blamed for what two grown men, elected governors, were saying to each other, and then the media was blamed for it. It's remarkable indeed. 91.3, hello.
Hello.
Hi.
What I think is happening to our leaders is money tostigating. The money that is in their possession is tostigating them. If you check very well, that is it. You just see the way they talk. I will not pay. This one will say, give this people this, give that people that. It's just the money in their possession. Have you seen any politician that is not on power talking the way the ones that are on power talks? Those ones don't talk because there's no more money in their possession again. So that's just the thing I found out about them. It's up to us to make decisions. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Via WhatsApp. Good afternoon. This is the height of failure in the system. Just last week, two critical issues emerged and went the same way. The fuel hike, the misappropriated arms funds, all retracted without any reasonable grounds. It's sheer ineptitude. Shame. That's George Benedict Nebe who sent that. Dial, let's see. Where is that? You see why I don't blame that NSCDC guy that said he doesn't want to say something, then later his Oga at the top will say another thing. NSA has said something now. Oga at the top has whispered to him, and we've quoted him out of context. This is really hilarious. That's Stephen from Port Harcourt. Maybe another call to wrap it up. Hello, you're welcome.
Hello, Dayo.
Hi.
Dayo Elusakin.
You're welcome. Go ahead.
Good afternoon.
Go ahead, please.
My name is Barry Digyadom. I'm calling from Port Harcourt.
All right.
Why do you like putting the governor out of context?
My rant wasn't about the governor. It was about the. Okay, he's gone. It was about the NSA. Let's see. They all know what they're doing. That's why they're quick to be sent out to be protected. But God is alive. Well, I suppose He is. No, so once again, like I think there was a comment I read a while ago. It encapsulated it quite brilliantly, saying there is no sophistication to it anymore. You know, you can say something now and then just 2 hours later say you were quoted out of context. It was as simple as that, and you just move on like nothing happened. But once again, whilst you know the misquoting and out of context quoting will remain a common feature, at least for the foreseeable future for some time, I just wish that we can figure out how that you know what's going to happen and yet you still dive headlong into it. Because once again, you can predict. It's the same thing. Election is going to come. They will be eating bole and fish with you, riding keke, frying akara, carrying naked babies, dancing at campaign grounds, saying nothing meaningful. But except I will give you, I will give you, I will give you. As if he's going to bring it out from his back pocket and give you the road. And then the elections are over, they win, get into office, and that's it. Same cycle, same story. Downright predictable. No change, nothing. Perfect. We got the business news coming up, after which I return. The House of Reps are saying that governors and they want governors and the president to have university degrees. What's your take on that? When I return, please stay with us.